Keegan.
What's going on?
Welcome, Keegs, to the podcast.
Thank you.
Hey Keeg, at Hey Keeg, Keegan Robin
Yes.
is a photographer, content creator, but most importantly, my friend.
It's funny because like you use that line a lot and I love it so much.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast for the very first time.
First time, yes.
Yeah, we've never done this before.
I've never done a podcast in this room before.
Yep, never.
Three cameras.
But yeah, jokes aside,
Yep.
we did actually record a podcast
We did.
2 months ago.
2 months ago by now?
Well, it
Maybe
was
like
February.
almost like 2 months ago. Yeah, early February.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I never released it because Keegan's camera was completely out of focus the entire time. And so now we actually have Priam here, who's monitoring all of the cameras and checking the audio, and things are better.
Yeah, things are good.
But
We've both changed so much over these last 2
have we?
months. Yes. I think so.
But
Well, the joke I made was John makes one mistake and then he becomes super professional.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But on the topic of making mistakes and becoming super professional,
Yeah.
I sort of wanted to talk to you a little bit about perfectionism.
Ooh.
I thought it was a good way to open up the podcast.
Yeah, that's deep already.
Yeah, let's go just dive in head first. Because I would not consider myself a perfectionist, but when I went back on the footage and I saw that your camera was entirely out of focus and I thought about editing around it,
Yeah.
it was so painful for me to just like throw away this entire project. So would you consider yourself a perfectionist?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, well, I would say, like, to me, throwing away an entire project, what you did for that podcast is very normal for me. I've done this so many times with YouTube videos. So, probably, like, on average, I'll record a YouTube video. If it's a gear video or something, I'll film it twice on average. So, like, maybe once in a while I get it the first time, but a lot of times I'll end up re-recording it. And after I get into the editing phase and I put the clips together and I'm like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. I'll just throw it all out and restart.
Wow.
And there are some videos where I've done 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 redos.
Wow.
So I'm like, when you asked me to come back to do this second one, I'm like, yeah, I don't mind it.
I'm so thankful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me at all, actually. I love having conversations with you. So
Aw, thanks,
It's
Keith.
I mean, it's a win-win. Well, lose-win.
Yeah, it's a lose-win. But this is going to be significantly better. So thanks for coming back. And you make me feel a lot better because recently I feel like I've tossed like 2 YouTube videos that I haven't released just because either the timing wasn't right or now that my channel has sort of started growing, I've felt like, oh, maybe...
Some pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe this isn't good for my channel. I don't think it actually mixes well with the content that I'm releasing.
Yeah, I haven't been thinking about that too much, about like mixing content, which is probably the wrong move.
You haven't?
I
or
feel
you
like
have?
my YouTube channel is all over the place. Like sometimes it's a gear review, sometimes it's street photography, running around Lisbon. Sometimes it's like a little vlog. My next one is probably going to be a vlog about dogs. Like it is all over the place. So I don't know. Like I think that it's probably smart of you to niche down and maybe throw away videos that don't fit.
But that's sort of what you do on TikTok, right? You have like a very specific niche, which
the
is dog
dogs.
photography.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's why it's hard for me not to involve dogs on YouTube. But I'm also trying to keep my YouTube channel pretty camera focused, as opposed to dog focused, because I need that part of me to live on, you know, because TikTok brought that dog part out of me, and Instagram now brought the dog person out of me, and now I'm like all in on dogs on Instagram and TikTok. So there's no going back.
Yeah.
Which is good. I'm happy about it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, but it's cool, I think. I mean, I'm not that active on Instagram or TikTok, at least not the way you are with like putting out content.
Yeah.
It must be nice to have different platforms for different parts of like what you do.
Yeah, I think splitting it up is, I think I'm going to enjoy that in the long run, because, you know, if I get tired of it, let's say I made my YouTube channel and I focused on, or I turned my YouTube channel into just a dog channel also, then I'd really just be focusing dogs all the time. And I would be seen more as like a dog person as opposed to like a photographer. So, or videographer. So I think it's going to be nice. It is nice, actually, now that I think about it, that I can still do something other than just dog-focused videos. When I want to make a YouTube video, it could be anything I want.
Right, yeah.
So it's still, YouTube, actually, that's good. YouTube is still a creative outlet for me. Like, the dog, okay, so TikTok is relatively still creative.
Yeah.
But I am creating the same type of video over and over again. But now, I guess with YouTube, I can do anything I still want to do. But that's also something I've kicked myself for, is like keep not focusing in on a niche on my YouTube channel. But now that you've made me think that it's like, oh, maybe I should just keep going as is, because it keeps me happy.
Right, yeah.
If I'm traveling, I'll make a travel vlog. If I get a piece of gear that I want to review, I'll make it that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, we all do, but you specifically, you wear so many hats, right? So you are, let's count all the things that you are. Photographer.
Yes.
A TikToker. Actually, if someone were to come up to you.
Content creator.
Content creator.
I would say content creator.
You would say content, okay. Yeah. So photographer, content creator. Videographer.
Almost equally as much as a photographer, yeah.
Okay.
A dog person.
Dog person, yes.
Who's allergic to dogs. Yeah. Most dogs. That's it. Content creator and photographer, videographer. I think that's a great descriptor of my current life.
Very cool.
And traveler.
Yeah.
I do that as I'm traveling.
Mm-hmm. So, very cool. Let's talk some finances, because I think finances are always interesting for people to get into the like behind the scenes of how it is that content creators make money. And personally, I feel like I have somewhat of a grasp on YouTube, but TikTok and Instagram is very foreign to me. I mean, it's sort of the same thing, but it makes less sense to me. So maybe you could explain it. So I guess question, you're mostly financed through your content creation right now?
Now, yes, it's shifting over to being that. So prior to, let's say, even a few months ago, maybe up to a few months ago, up to 6 months ago, let's say, I was doing gigs, and I still do them, like with you. I do like live stream gigs, and I would make money doing that, or shooting content for other people. So there's a little bit of content creation there. I shoot content for a barbershop, random clients who hire me to shoot videos for their concerts, for whatever it is.
Yeah, so you still do client work, sort of.
Yes, but it's definitely going less and less. And now my client work is more skewed towards like travel clients. So wherever I go, I'm looking for, with my friends, we're looking for like a hostel or any place on the road that needs content. So we've worked for hostels, co-working communities, mostly like very focused on that sort of area, resorts, things like that, making little documentary pieces and content for them. And that's been a good source of income and or just giving us a place to stay when we're traveling. So it's cool that, in that area, we've been able to use cameras as tools to pay for like where we're staying, which is cool, or just to make money. But now it's definitely moving and shifting over to like making money through my own content, through my dog content. So like working with brands, working with other channels.
Can you name some of the brands you're working with, or?
Yeah, I can name brands. Yeah, definitely. Insta360 is one brand I've been working with. So I've been using their cameras the whole time I've been creating content online. And, I reached out to them, and they were like, yeah, sure, let's work together. So they send me cameras now. I don't have to buy them, which
That's
is so
awesome.
cool. Like
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of money on Insta360 cameras in the past, and now it's finally nice like that. I don't have to spend the money, and in fact now they're like giving me money instead. They've given it back. Now it's probably even at this point.
Nice.
They've given. And so that company, I've worked with Aputure, who are lighting us right now, probably. I've worked with BarkBox. And this is still like sort of under wraps, but it might be ready by the time this podcast is out.
Okay. Otherwise, we'll bleep it.
Yeah, beep. I'm going to work with, I won't name them yet because it's nothing signed, but a Facebook page, which will essentially take my content that I shoot, edit their own versions of things, and post it on their channel. And
Nice.
I will make sort of an income from that. So waiting on hopefully like in the next month, that's going to be rolling. So we'll see. But I'm very excited about this one because I get to just shoot what I shoot, maybe adapt a little bit so that if they ask me for like, oh, could you try and do this? I mean, like if they say, let's say, could you ask this question to the strangers you talk to on the street? Maybe that could help my content as well, right? So
Yeah.
I think it'll be this little collaboration will be useful, I think.
Awesome.
Both monetarily and just heightening the quality of my content.
Yeah, and so that would be primarily your like TikTok, Instagram content that they would
exactly. But they're going to take it and post it on their like Facebook and Snapchat channels, which is something I don't do. So yeah, it's kind of perfect. And then I make a cut from their ad income, essentially. Their AdSense or whatever it is that Facebook uses. Facebook's pretty lucrative when it comes to ads, I heard. Like they're really pushing Reels, their own version of Reels.
Right.
And they're pushing video content in general. Facebook is like still probably the most used social media.
Probably, yeah. Well, I guess TikTok
platform.
maybe isn't TikTok. Then TikTok
Maybe
surpass,
TikTok surpass. I'm not sure, but Facebook's been around for so long, and like us, I would still consider us young people.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. What is that? Like but we don't really use Facebook anymore. I don't know anyone my age who really uses Facebook all the time anymore. But in the older crowd,
Yeah, absolutely.
not to offend anyone, I'm not offending anyone. If you use Facebook, you're old. It's simple.
Yeah.
No.
Actually,
Just kidding.
Priam, that could be something that you could look up.
What's
real
the
quick.
average Facebook user age?
Yeah. Or what's the most used social media platform? That'd be interesting.
That'd be super cool to know.
And while Priam looks that up, for anyone who's watching this podcast and is interested in doing content creation on TikTok and Instagram, sort of following suit with what you're doing,
Yeah.
how many followers do you have? And do you think that you need to have your number of followers in order to make those brand deals?
Love it. So let's start with YouTube. We'll start on the small. Let's start on the smallest one. YouTube, I have 15,000.
Nice.
Almost 16. Yay. That's going very slowly, and that I've built up over like 20 years of YouTubing. So, and like 10,000, no, maybe like 7,000 of them were from when I used to make music videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember.
The old days, yeah. and now they're definitely not following me for camera stuff. So,
Right.
I don't know how much that affects my channel. I'm always thinking about like how much does this affect my channel? These subscribers are not coming back anymore.
Oh, sweet. So we have the social media trends. Turns out that Facebook is, in fact, the most popular.
2.96 billion people on Facebook.
Jesus.
That's huge.
Yeah.
But like, it makes sense. It's been around the longest and it's used worldwide.
Yeah.
Like, except for a few countries where it's censored. But
Yeah.
but truly, it's been around long. So it makes sense that there's a lot of money in Facebook ads. And now Facebook really wants to at least maintain their competitiveness a little bit. So they're pushing video content and paying people who post videos. So the Facebook page I'm going to work with has a huge following, which is super cool. Hopefully I can announce these things in more detail soon.
Yeah.
Contracts yet to be signed.
There we go. Yeah.
But we're working on it now. We're negotiating.
Nice.
It's interesting negotiating contracts these days. Or not these days, but just in general. Like I've never really done it, and now I have to like read through detailed contracts, and I have someone else that I'm working with, a manager that is. This is new since the first failed recording, so I'll tell you about this stuff. Yeah,
nice. So you have a manager now.
Yeah. Should we talk about that in a second? I don't know if we're going in circles. Are we done talking about this? My follower counts. Should we go with that first?
Yeah, let's do the follower. So
I like that question.
Yeah, so you have 15,000 on YouTube. Okay.
Instagram, 420. I peaked at 424,000.
You peaked.
And now
so
it's 421,000. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Very, very interesting trend happened. Maybe I can show I love showing analytics to people.
Oh, I love analytics as well.
And it's really like, okay, let's go really quick here. It's kind of scary, I gotta say. Like I'm freaked out. I freaked out for a little bit. I'm kind of just accepting that growth comes in phases. So recently I've grown. The last 3 months, I've been growing between 1,000 to 10,000 followers per day on Instagram.
Okay.
So somehow the algorithm picked me up and was like, yo, this guy's doing some good stuff. People are liking it. So super cool to see this stuff. So you can see a couple of peaks here where I grew 11,000 followers. And then a couple, like the lowest thing here is 276 followers. But generally I've grown like around 2,000 followers per day. And this was a trend for like the last like 2-3 months.
What are we looking at here? How many months ago is the beginning of this graph?
This is 90 days.
That's 90 days. Okay.
But then all of a sudden, look at this.
Damn.
It drops to like negative 100, negative 60, negative 200, negative 4. And since that drop, it's not gone back up. So somehow like my channel, I'm not too worried because I know that they're always switching out the algorithm. You're sort of at the mercy of the algorithm, and that's a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
Where the algorithm found me, it was like pushing me out to everyone, and then something changes internally at Instagram, and it's cut. And this happens on TikTok all the time, where like I would grow, and then lose, and then grow, and lose, and I now kind of see it as normal. And I'm also learning not to let it affect my mentality going forward, like creating. So that's it. Anyways, I peaked at 424. Now I'm 421.
421,000. Okay.
Yes. And
TikTok
1.7 million. Yeah.
Nice.
And that is just steadily growing now. Now it feels like comfortably growing. If I get a viral video, then there's a huge boost. If I don't, if everything's normal, it's just like a slow, steady growth of maybe 100 to 1,000 followers per day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, these are great numbers.
Yeah, it's great. Honestly, and I'm happy with it. And I've learned to accept those waves of. It's a roller coaster, you know. You have to just learn.
And do you think? Okay, so 15,000 on YouTube, 421,000 on Instagram, and 1.7 million on TikTok. Do you need to have those numbers in order to get brands to feel like it's interesting to work with you? No.
Actually, I have friends who work I have a friend, Liam Killen, who's in the, Liam, synth niche. And it's a small niche, but he's like, not to compare, but I feel like he's making more money than me doing what he's doing because he's so niche down. He's working very specifically with like certain brands, and they are willing to fork him over the money because his followers, all of them are very, what can I say? They all fit this niche. Right. I guess it's harder to know exactly where my followers sit because my niche is way more general. I'm attracting a more general audience. So some of them are going to be dog owners who might buy dog treats for their pets. Some of them are just dog lovers who, how do you fit a brand in with that? Yeah. And then some are like photographers or amateur videographers or whatnot who are like interested in the photography side of things. So I have to sort of take that into consideration and split up my audience according to that. So that's why, I mean, looking at the bright side, I can work with multiple different types of brands and different niches like Insta360 and Aperture for lighting and like a dog food brand, it just works, right? But it's hard to know exactly what portion of the pie each audience sits in, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And how big those portions are.
So the amount of followers isn't necessarily the question. It's like, what is your niche?
It's not like this amount of followers is going to get you this amount of money.
Yeah.
Also, there's so much that goes into how good of a digital entrepreneur you are and how quickly you can learn things. Because, I mean, I've seen creators online who have millions of followers, especially on TikTok these days. It's not easy, but easier than any other platform to get to like 1 million or 2 million followers, right? That I think we can agree on. It's not easy, but it's easier.
It's easier, yeah.
But like there are some creators I see who just make videos randomly. They probably have like full-time jobs and they're still doing that, but they have a couple million followers, and once in a while they're going to make $1,000-$2,000 extra a month just from this. But it's not a full-time income. But the savvy digital entrepreneurs, I like to call like social media. If you're a content creator, I like to call it digital entrepreneurship because it sort of is like building your brand and like making money from that. And I think the ones who are savvy can truly make a full-time income. And the nice thing, the coolest thing about this entire thing is that there is no cap to the salary.
Right.
Like you don't have a full-time job. There's no company dictating any cap. There's no limit. Like the sky is the limit. Yeah. You can make millions if you try hard enough, if you work hard enough, if you have, if you work smart and hard. Yeah. Work smart and hard.
Or the flip side is
you can make nothing.
You can make nothing, or you can have more time to yourself, right? You can decide like this month, like I just need a break, and you make less money, but also you have more time to yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Personally, I like having time to myself, and I spend a lot of the money I make on travel just to have experiences. So I'm not obviously not making millions, but who knows? Maybe if I meet the right people, and this can lead straight into the manager talk. Yeah. But like meeting and working with the right people and having those folks on board with you can really boost your productivity output. So, yeah. Since the last talk, I am now working with a manager. So there's this website, beacons.ai, that I use as my link in bio. I would highly suggest anybody who wants like a link in their bio should
we'll put it on Beacons. The screen.
Actually, you want to open up my link in bio, Priyam? I don't want to name their competitor because it's Linktree. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Linktree was like the main one, but Beacons is coming in and they're like, okay, we're going to do link in bio, but we're going to do all kinds of other stuff. And you'll see everything that they do. It's like company invoicing. They give you a pricing calculator, like how much you should charge for your brand deals. They give you like, invoicing. They do QR code.
Beacons.ai.
Oh yeah, beacons.ai.
Beacons, like a beacon of hope.
Yeah.
But with multiple.
yeah. I'll show you their main page first. Yeah. So this is my Beacons page, and you can see how it's going to look good on a mobile site where mostly everybody's going on their phone. Yeah. Scroll down a bit, Priyam. You'll see you can host products. So I have Adobe presets, Lightroom presets. You can do links, and it's customizable. And so they do a lot of stuff, and in their platform, you have invoicing, you have all these creator friendly things to help you grow.
Very cool.
And they also have when I spoke with them, and I've been like in touch with them, like I get on video chats with them all the time to like give them my input, and they're always like, yeah, well, we want to know what you think, like how should we improve? And I'm like, well, why don't you add like embedding to like product pages? Like, why don't you try this, add more, whatever. And now I have someone working essentially as a negotiator, brand, like someone to reach out to brands. And so I forwarded her an email that I got from this Facebook page that I was telling you about. And she did most of the negotiations for me. So she's reading through the contracts, and she's like checking, what works, what doesn't, sends it to me. It says like, hey, what do you think? And I'll like reply. And so it's a nice like weight off of my shoulders, or it's like adding the right, and she's amazing. She's doing this like negotiation for me and stuff. And it's like, it's led to this new potential collaboration. So see how this goes.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And I have an editor too.
Oh wait, you have an editor now?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is all new as well.
So your manager is remote.
Manager's
editor
remote
as well, or
editor is remote as well. I have an
Oh.
editor, Andrew, from in Edmonton.
In Edmonton. Wow.
Yeah, Alberta.
How'd you find them?
I posted an Instagram story. I was like, hey, I'm looking for an editor. Reach out. And I had like, a solid amount of people reach out. And I got on a couple of video chats as interviews. And yeah, essentially just vibed with this guy. And he was relatively fresh as a videographer and editor, and like was super willing to learn. And so like, yeah, I send him footage from everything now. I pretty much send all the footage and tell him which ones are the good videos, which ones I think are the good interactions with dogs. He'll edit it and send it back, and we have a little back and forth.
Nice.
So 2 people on the team now.
Very cool.
Saving a lot of time, allowing me to like go out and shoot more and adapt. And now I can sort of take a bird's eye view on everything, on the content itself, as opposed to like getting, deep in the trenches of editing. You sort of lose sight of the big picture. So it's kind of nice that I can see the big picture a little bit more now through this.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And okay, so the brand deals that you have.
Yeah.
Did you have to reach out to them, or did they reach out to you?
I reached out to them.
Every single time?
Except for the Facebook page that we're talking about. They
Right.
sent me an email. But I reached out to Insta360. I reached out to Bark. I reached out to Aperture. Actually, wait, Aperture a long time ago did send like can we send you a product in exchange for a commission and a link? And I was like, yeah, but would you like to sponsor a video?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
Sure. So that was a back and forth. It's a good maybe not half and half. More, I do reach out a little more than I get emails. But when something interesting comes in, then that's really cool to see. But yeah, I reached out to Bark Food and BarkBox to see if they could sponsor a dog runway thing, like season 2 of dogs to models, and they were down. Yeah, and I'll be real. I was telling you this morning. Surprisingly, people didn't want to like click on my Bark links and buy Bark food, so I wasn't really making any conversions, like any at least that we could see. We don't know, like there's like a dark tunnel where like someone might see Bark food in a video and then go to the website and just buy some Bark food. Yeah. So we don't know, like those. I don't know. There's a certain term for that, like a cold lead.
Yeah,
I don't
cold
know
lead.
A cold customer or something like that. Like I like to call it a dark tunnel. Like where do they go? Yeah. They go in and they go out. They exit through another.
I like that.
But there's an actual term for that in the marketing world, digital marketing. So I haven't tracked any sales, which is so weird. I got like maybe a total of 100,000, maybe more views on a video on 2 videos featuring Bark food, and no conversion. So scared me a little bit, and Bark paid some money to make this happen. So now I'm in the process currently now how to like rectify the situation, and like what can I do? How can I make a video that's going to actually generate sales, right? And that doesn't feel like an ad. I don't want to make an ad. I don't want to talk in front of a camera and say, hey, buy these Bark food treats, they're delicious, but I don't have a dog, so I don't know. I don't. So like now I'm working out, like we signed a deal for 3 videos. I'm going to try and sell it in the 3rd video. And this is just the troubles that content creators go through, I think, all the time. And I'm learning, as much as like the next person is learning. And some people have experience selling products, like Peter McKinnon. Yeah. The guy can sell a product. Like there's no doubt about that. Like people, listen to him because he's got like a lot of influence. And yeah, people will buy anything that's in his videos because he knows how to sell it. So it's a learning process. And one day maybe I can get to Peter McKinnon level.
Nice, yeah.
If you got any tips, Peter.
Yeah, just drop them in the comments.
He's going to watch this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Why wouldn't he?
So, yeah.
When we were out the other day, I said, hey, Keegs, I have this thing that I want to ask you that maybe it's better for the podcast. And I ended up asking you, and then you're like, you know what? I'm not going to answer your question.
Oh, can you repeat it?
Yeah. So my question was, don't you find it hard to be productive when you're traveling?
Oh, yes. I love the question. In terms of productivity, in general, productivity on the road, I get very excited. I got very excited when you asked me that question because I find myself way more productive when I'm traveling than when I'm sitting here. Not here, but at home in Montreal. Like, I don't, actually, I was going to say I don't know what it is, but I know. There are two elements I think that are the main factors in my increase in productivity. And that is social living. So it's like, there's a huge element where like I can talk to people and people are happy, people are feeling good, it's warm. Like I'm talking like Costa Rica or like wherever I am, even hostels in general, like a lot of people are like very outgoing. So that definitely contributes to me like being happier as a person and by extension being more productive. And also just like being in a place that's like in a warm place, a beautiful place, like sunlight, a beach to go to. So a great example is Jaco in Costa Rica. I spent 3 weeks there last year. And this year I spent a week in Puerto Viejo on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. We should show like, hey Prim, can you pull up Salina, Puerto Viejo? Any photos of the beach? Well, just, you can see right now, there's greenery, beautiful. Sunlight, it's gorgeous. See that where your mouse is over? I was staying in one of those.
Beautiful.
So it's a nice room to go and sleep in, but that's all you do. You go in and sleep. And you take your computer out, you go in their co-working space or their bar area or their restaurant area and you sit down. It's a cafe type thing. And you just work. And then if I look, maybe like 50 meters away is the beach. So I'm going to go and like walk to the beach and like go for a swim in the ocean, dry off, sit back down on my computer and keep working. And that's amazing. Completely is conducive to my like productivity. Conductive. Conducts. No,
Conducts your productivity.
To my productivity, like for sure, 100%. And when it's cold here in Montreal and gray, I personally, I don't know, like I can't speak for everyone, but I'm very affected by like
100%
cold and grayness, and I'm just like less happy. Conducive, yes, that's the word. Perfect.
Thanks, Priam.
Amazing. So I do definitely think that I'm more productive. I get a lot more done when I'm traveling and on the road. Amazing. And it's surprising because there's so much more to do there too. And I'll still like be quite disciplined and sit down and work. And then on a weekend I'll go on a hike or something, and it helps. It's very refreshing to the mind, I think, to be able to like just like do things for yourself and also work. And I just don't feel any resistance to sitting down and getting shit done. I just do it. That's awesome. For some reason, like here in my apartment in Montreal, maybe my apartment's not conducive to productivity, so maybe I should make this happen. but I don't feel it. I feel a lot of resistance to go and just sit down and edit. I don't know why, but maybe that's something I have to figure out. But yeah, it's really important. Your environment is super, super important to remain productive.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe novelty and like switching up an environment all the time helps in my case. Just being in a new place, a new location, it's sort of stimulating and keeps my mind like on edge. Not on edge, but like, sharp, I guess.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Nice.
That's the answer. There's the answer to the big question you asked the other day.
Yeah. I mean, I would just imagine that if I was traveling, I would just want to go to the beach the entire time and say, nah, I'm not going to do this video.
It would be easy to do that, but also like in the middle of the day, it's so hot.
True. So you have
Sun's
sort of those natural
down.
breaks where you just want to edit, like you eat and then you're like, it's hot, you just edit a little bit and then it's like 3-4 p.m. and it's like, oh, nice. Time to go
and then you just
again.
go lay on the beach. Yeah. And then every night, every evening you spend watching a gorgeous sunset. Yeah. Or you spend on the beach and you spend swimming in salt water. And it's so refreshing.
you're making me want to go to Costa Rica.
Yeah, you should go. I think everybody should go to Costa Rica. Not for too long, because, well, yeah, you go for a month. Is that long?
Yeah, I think that's long. I would consider that long.
I went for 2 months last year. 2 months. Well, between Costa Rica and Nicaragua, 2 months. But when I say too long, it's like, I don't think people should like really move there and buy things, because that's contributing. Even like tourism contributes to gentrification, and a lot of locals are being pushed away, right?
Right.
So it's important to like maintain a certain level of, you know, I don't know how to word this properly, but like I wouldn't buy land there and just like live there or move there, because you move there with a lot of money. That's definitely gentrification more than traveling. I would assume.
I understand.
Yeah.
I think maybe we could do one more thing and end the podcast.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what the last thing is, though. I didn't really have anything in mind. I don't know if there was something that I missed that you'd like to talk about.
Oh, I looked at those clamps right there, and I'm trying to trigger.
Talk about those
clamps?
No.
But like I thought of something as I looked at those clamps, and I'm trying to trigger a deja vu so I can bring that thought back.
Okay,
now
here, let me grab the clamp for you.
No, I have to. It's the visual. It's the visual of.
Oh, so I shouldn't touch.
Yeah, like physical. That's not deja vu, but I'm a very visual person.
Yeah.
So like, that's why I take pictures. My memory sucks.
Same. My memory is horrible as well. Yeah.
It's like Apple Photos is my. If someone asks me like, "How's your trip?" I'll just be like, "It was great."
Look.
That's it. I'll say
Yeah.
I'll say it was great. But then if I pull out my pictures, I'll be able to like look at a photo and then recount and tell a story, you know? But I can't just like tell a story out of the blue, you know? Unless I have something to trigger that. And usually it's a visual, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Visual person. It's like it's not a photographic memory, but photographic aids the memory. Photographs. Photographic aids the memory. That's why like this X100V that I recently got. Oh man, I love that camera.
You still love it?
Oh, I love it so much, and I just use it for personal. Like, it's an expensive camera, but I still just use it pretty much for personal use. Like, I've used it a couple times professionally, but it's just for me. And I just like shoot in JPEG, which is something that people are like, shoot in JPEG. But shoot in JPEG, upload it straight to iCloud Photos, and those are my memories, and I can hold on to that. So your studio's coming along?
It's coming along, yeah. I feel like every single time I wrap up a gig, it all becomes a mess again, as you can see, because there's so much stuff here. And then I put it all away, and then immediately there's something else. And it all comes back out again. It's just always in this constant state of being used, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it means you are using it for this full potential, or you're using it for what it's made for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's cool. I love this. I love that we've been talking for an hour and the sunset is just remaining like this.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, it's nice that your sunsets last for hours.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, here in Canada. Yeah. Costa Rica, they're very quick. Yeah, but here in
they
Canada,
go by quick. Yeah. I mean, this is why I'm feeling happy here. It's a very productive conversation. That's good.
Well, thanks for coming to the podcast, Keegs.
Yeah, this is a good time. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming to the podcast, and hopefully we don't have to do it again, but we can if we want.
Yeah, if we need to perfect it.
Now it's a choice. Yes. Priam's cracking up in the background. Okay, I think that's wrapped. Thank you.